Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Motorcycle Rewind, and today the question is, can you have too many motorcycles? Well, when I was rolling all these out, I was thinking, yeah, I think you can have too many. But we're going to go through the fleet and let you know kind of where we are with each one. We'll also put cards overhead for each motorcycle so you can go back to the videos that we've done on them in the past. So sit back and relax. Let's get to it. So where to start, where to start, where to start? We're going to start in the back, in the chrome side cover section. Now some of these you've seen recently. I know I just took, we'll start with the CB450K1 1968. We got this thing a couple of years ago, bought it at auction and paid $400 for it. And then we went about making it look pretty, and it runs and rides like a champ. Like I said, I'll link the card to the other videos on these specific motorcycles. And then you guys may have seen recently the 1964 C200 little pushrod 90. This is a early pushrod engine before they went to a cam. So early pushrod engine, little 90. It drove us to drinking trying to get it running, but now it runs like a champ. And we bought it at Barber last year. And it's kind of an interesting story. We traded up to it. I bought a little KV75 on the way up. I saw it on Marketplace and I bought it on the way up to Barber Vintage Fest. I sold it. I paid $100 for it. I sold it for a couple $100 there, turned that money into a C70, got it running, sold it there, and then moved it on to this. So we just kept trading up to it. And it didn't run, engine was seized. We got it all going, and now it's good. It's awesome. We'll stick the guy in the back. You guys may have seen this recently. Took it out for a ride. It's a 1967 Kawasaki W1. It's awesome. Got it from my old friend Yoda, and that was one of my bucket list motorcycles. And then we get to move on to, this is the one that started all these motorcycles. 1964 Honda Dream. I got this thing, this guy. I was looking for a Sears Allstate 250. I was looking for that. That's what I was looking for. And the styling of this one is very similar. And I saw this on Craigslist. That's how long ago you know it was. I saw it on Craigslist and had to have it. And when I got it, it was $1,100 I paid for it. It came with 2 extra tanks, an extra rear fender, a couple extra side covers, another primed front fender, because the original one was bobbed, was cut off, as they all get kind of dented up. And I went about trying to bring it back to life. Found another red fender, the original paint, because this is all original paint. Found a red fender, and then this fender ended up having these holes already in it. Did not have the cover. So I mean didn't have the bumper guard. So I went about trying to find the fender guard for that. So I found them, that one and this rear grab bar from the same guy, and a toolkit for $100. So it ended up being pretty good. So it's awesome. And I put 6,000 miles on that thing in 1 year. That's a lot of dreaming. I mean, I rode that sucker like I stole it, and it's awesome. It's super reliable. What's crazy is that in 1964, that was considered a touring motorcycle from Honda. It's bananas. It's like riding a cloud. It's super spongy. You go over bumps and you feel them for a little while. It's nice. But these guys together, this little picture right here of these chrome side covers, it's pretty awesome. Especially the black and the red one. They're the same year, 1964. But these two guys sitting next to each other look like they're big brother, little brother kind of things. It's awesome. But you could also see the progression in just 4 years from that to this. It's pretty crazy. And then we'll go to another bucket list motorcycle. This was another one of my bucket list motorcycles. 1972 Yamaha XS2. So if you don't know my history with Yamaha XS 650s, I've had several of them. I love the platform. They're one of my favorite motorcycles. And the first one I had, I traded for that Ford F-150 that you see back there. I paid $50 for the Yamaha XS 650, I turned it into a little cafe racer because it was a 78 and the styling's kind of ugly. And to me, if you have a 78 and you love it, hey, more on you, right? But to me, I just didn't dig it as much. And so I turned it into a little cafe racer with 75 tank and tens, and it just, it was awesome. And then I needed a truck. This truck showed up on Craigslist. Again, that shows how long ago it was. And guy wanted trade, so I traded him straight up. Worked out pretty good. Then we put a new engine, new transmission in the truck. So that's where we are on the Yamaha XS 650, XS2, 1972. And then we'll move into the 350, 550, 750 kind of range. Let's start with the 350. You guys saw this the other day. These are all fours. So 1972 Honda CB 354. It was just on the channel just the other day. We finally rode it, and it's going to get some love. It's just a great little motorcycle, just fun to ride. It needs some love, needs to be cleaned, needs some other stuff done to it, and we'll get to that as we move forward. And this is our 1978 CB 550K, which we did the Mikuni carb swap on, which is awesome. This thing, again, it needs some love. It's been sitting up. All these other things have been taking priority to it. So we're going to spend some time with it coming up. And just as we're finishing up our 1979 CB 750K, which that's been on the channel. This guy is we're nearing the end of this project. This guy is kind of taking precedent, but we're going to finish that up. So far, a whole bunch of Hondas and a Kawasaki and a Yamaha. That's about it. So this one, if you're not familiar with it, CB400A hondamatic 1978. This thing it's a pleasure to ride. It's just amazing. It is just incredible. That's Carrie's bike. Twist and go, 2-speed transmission. If you're not familiar with it, 2-speed transmission. You just kind of click it into gear and then twist and go. You don't have to worry about it. It just does what it does. And then we'll move into kind of the beginning of this is how it all started for me. These mopeds, pedal start mopeds from the late 70s. So that's kind of how it all started for me with these, with motorcycles. You know, again, those of you who know or don't know, we had, my wife and I have been married 36 years. We got married when we were 20. We have 4 children, and you spend a whole lot of time just raising kids and doing all kid stuff and growing up with them. And so when they all graduated from high school and moved off to college, I had a whole lot of space, a whole lot of time, energy. So I decided I was going to get a moped. So I started off with a moped, and that's kind of what happened. You know, it's kind of one of those things. I could then use tools, put them down, and they'd be exactly where I left them. So we started this whole thing with a pedal start moped. Actually, it was a Track Eagle, just the crappiest of mopeds. I overpaid for it, everything. It was just bad, but it was good. It got me started, and then we ended up with like 16 of those things. And then when we moved south to Louisiana, not as much of a moped market, so we ended up getting rid of them and moving into, as I said before, this guy became our first transition. And we've had over the years, I've picked up a moped here and there when I find them when I see them on Marketplace. And this guy showed up on Marketplace. It was cheap. I think I paid 150 bucks for it. And I just had to scratch the moped itch. It's moving on. Somebody's coming to pick it up. So that'll be good. We get to get that guy gone. And then we'll move into kind of our cafe racer kind of mutt section of motorcycles, as you see here. We'll start with this little CB 125. Again, me and my old friend Yoda, Howard Doris, we decided one day that we would just have a CB 125 build off, and he had several of them in his yard and barns, so we each grabbed a couple of them. He ended up with a TL 125. He went big time. He got that one, and I ended up with just a crappy little CB 125. And then we decided that I would do this with it. It's got a Rapido headlight from a Harley Rapido. It's just the kit. It's awesome. It's a cool little bike, and it's fun. It's so much fun to ride. It's not fast, but it feels like you're flying because of the riding position and how low. It's just awesome. Everything about it. It's just a neat little motorcycle. And then you guys probably saw this recently, the Twinstar. Now our pizza getting machine. It's awesome. It's fun for no money, guys. That motorcycle was free. The Twinstar was 1981 Honda Twinstar CM200T. Was free. Didn't cost me any money. We ended up just seeing what we could do with it. And we still have a little bit of work to do on it, but it's just been fun. I think right now, with the tires, I'm probably $100 into this motorcycle. You know, come on, it's fun. Whether you like it or not, it's still a lot of fun. I have had fun doing it. And then we have our 1975 Moto Guzzi 850T that my wife and I made the seat for. It's got Yamaha XS650 headlight, front and rear fender. And why? Because I paid $400 for it. I paid $400 for it, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money into it. And I don't have much money into it. But I think it's kind of a cool looking little bike. It needs a little bit of work to finish up. We're just about the end. Again, this Kawasaki has been bogarting so much of our time. So the good thing is everything's out. So now that the things are out, before I put them in, I can do work on them. That's our 1975 850T Moto Guzzi. And then you guys have seen this, the free GPZ, 1983 Kawasaki GPZ 1100 that we picked up for free, and engine was seized, everything. I'm not going to go through the whole story. You guys can click on the card ahead and dig into the whole playlist. There's so much content on this guy, which is incredible. We just still have to put tires on it and then start shaking it down to get ready for our ride to Colorado in about 10 days. And then this guy, we saved the best for last. 1975 Kawasaki MTB1. This is for our grandson Jackson. So when somebody goes, hey, what was your first motorcycle? He knows exactly what it is because it's sitting right here. And we've ridden on it together. He can't ride it till he can start it, so it's going to be a little while. He's only 3. This guy is just incredible. Bought it at Barber a couple of years ago, then went about making it look a little bit better. We're going to feature it on the channel coming up. We're going to do a video on it just because I think it's such a great motorcycle. That, first off, that they gave these things to children. This thing does like 40 miles an hour with me on it. It's like ridiculous. A 2-stroke 75cc little thing, come on. It's so much fun. Kind of a different video for us. And I'm not doing this to say, hey, look at me. That's not what this is about. Because the most I spent individual purchase was on this guy. That was the most money, and I think it was right at $2,000. And this is original. That's the most I've spent on any of these things. On average, you know, I paid $1,100 for this guy, and I sold all the extra parts. So I sold the extra tanks, I sold the extra fenders because I didn't need them, and the side covers because I wanted to keep it original. I wasn't going to repaint it. I sold all that. I came out even, right? So when you look at it, it's $400 for that guy. This guy, I bought a pair of these for $400. This one was free from Yoda. This guy was $300. You know, Carrie's was a little bit more. It was like $1,200, I think, when we got it, and then had it shipped here. So, again, this one was free. This one was free. This one was $400 when you include the tires. And then this guy was free. This guy was probably one of my expensive purchases. I think it was $800 at Barber. So again, I only show that you don't have to spend loads of money. You know, it's not like I went out and spent retail on all these things. No, that's you buy them, you make them look good. Are they perfect? No, not a single one is perfect. But you know what? It's the best one I have. So it's not about having this pristine collection. It's about having motorcycles that you can use and you can get out and do it. And that's what I'm fortunate to have with these guys. I can jump on any one of them. I did work on all of them. I made them look the way they look. And it's like saying that this is homemade spray paint. This was painted with a rattle can. You know, it's you with 2K clear on top, wet sanded, buffed and polished. You don't have to spend a lot of money on them. You know, you don't have to. You can make your collection yours and do whatever you need to. So I'm not showing you these to say, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. But what I am showing you for is hey, you can do this if I can do it, right? In a garage, sometimes in the driveway, sometimes in the shop, whatever it takes to make it happen if you're into it. That's what our channel's all about, is whatever if it's I'm just a normal guy. I'm not an expert at any of this stuff, but I'm a guy that's willing to give it a go. So I challenge you to do the same. There you have it. Can you have too many motorcycles? If it starts raining, I'll have way too many motorcycles. So guys, there you have it. Thanks for watching yet another episode of Motorcycle Rewind. And do me a favor, like, tag, share, and follow us on Instagram at Motorcycle Rewind. And go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And while you're in the subscribing mood, wander on over to our friends, Brickhouse Builds, Gold Guy, Moto Mango, Ace Cafe Bikes, Mile Zero Racers, and Plan B Motos, and give them a subscribe too. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day.